Well, hello there. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Anne. Thank you so much
Hi.
for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you both for offering and asking me to come and join you today.
Well, hello, Tammy. Hey, Anne. Always a pleasure to have you, our friend.
It is, and I'm super excited for our chat today, and am happy that you've joined us to talk about what's going on, how people can help, and maybe
Oh,
we
yeah.
can brainstorm some of the things that Lisa and I have been chatting about to see what might be able to do to help. So,
Hey, bro, cowgirl. Hey, Gwen.
hey,
How
Gwen,
are
good to
you,
see
honey?
you.
Yes. I'm trying to pull my phone up. I had turned it off so we wouldn't get any calls during this live. But I do have a trusted friend that is in the mountains currently that
Mhm.
put up a number of organizations that he has
Awesome.
seen firsthand. They're right outside of Asheville. In fact, his wife was working in the Biltmore
Mhm.
for most days. And so
Mhm.
they're right in the thick of things in that particular area.
Mhm.
And up on Facebook, he's a minister. Hey, Joe, fix it for you. How are you, honey?
Hey, Joe.
Hey there. Thank you for coming.
And so he's right in the thick of it,
Mhm.
or at least on the outskirts. Their home is fine. His name is Ricky Bishop,
Mhm.
and he is on Facebook. But he was able to put up a few organizations and things that
Mhm.
he trusted. And so I thought maybe we could share some of those today if
Yeah,
someone
I like.
needed some
Absolutely.
organizations or some
Mhm.
churches, some
Yeah.
churches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, just to preface all this, I'm sure you all know because people aren't living under a rock, but
Mhm.
just in case, what we are talking about today is the devastation in the southeastern part of the United States that affected Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Did I get everyone? Because
Yeah, West
I think
Virginia.
so.
West Virginia, thank you.
Hmm.
Um, North Carolina was hit very hard in a mountainous region that, although they've had flooding, hurricanes do not um, cause the destruction you see in Florida. It's a much different scenario. I've lived in that area. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've lived in that area. We've lived in Spruce Pine. I worked in the Tennessee border counties, and these are very mountainous regions. Um, and we're talking people are cut off, like
Right.
completely cut off. There's no cell service half the time in these counties, in these
Mhm.
locations because they're so mountainous. But what ended up occurring from what I saw was rivers, they had a cold front that stalled over the area, and it brought significant rainfall, probably like 10 inches or so, something like that. And then Helene hit, and that just put everything in flood zones.
Mhm.
And we're talking a lot of these places did not flood before.
Right.
Mhm.
They hit areas that folks do not have, not all, I'm just saying some, do
Mhm.
not have flood insurance because there never was a concern for it. They weren't in
Mhm.
floodplains.
Yeah. I'll
Um,
bet that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's
it
always
is.
we've never carried it, and we've lived in some areas that are questionable for possibility of getting flooded. So.
Right.
Absolutely. And the other
I
thing
mean,
is homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance, land and homes and properties have been transferred generation to generation to generation. So they're
Mhm.
owned, they're paid for.
Mhm.
There's no homeowners insurance because it's not affordable to many.
Mhm.
Again, not all. The other thing is trailer homes are often not insurable.
right.
Mhm.
Mobile homes. Yes.
Mhm.
I know that's a big thing in North Carolina. I don't know about other states, but I remembered learning about that in North Carolina when I lived there.
Right.
Mhm.
Um, and so these are the things we're talking about. So literally the hollers which are, in these areas, and the water just went down the middle and caused absolute catastrophic devastation.
Right. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah. Um, eh, what I was hoping to be able to share a little bit
Mhm.
is yes, where there was a creek here or a river there, it found its own way down people's driveways, through their
Mhm.
homes. It was water where there wasn't any water before. And I mean, you think you're pretty safe. In the mountain region, they're used to rock slides or even mudslides. But
Mhm.
you think, shoot, y'all, I live on top of a mountain. I don't need flood insurance.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
lo and
Yeah.
behold, um, it has come anyway.
Mhm.
So, what
Mhm.
we were able to do, I wanted to share, if that's okay with y'all,
Yes, could you
talk a
talk
little bit about.
yeah, can you kind of go back to, like, bring everybody up to speed with your efforts, your world, what you all have done, and kinda start there because there might be people that aren't even aware.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
what we did, it's people helping people. We were not a member of an organization. There was a young lady here in Edenton. Hey, Dink and Tank and Twin Brook Acres, glad you're here. Um, what we did, and I'm sorry, I can't help myself but to say hi. I'm gonna have to turn
No,
the
you
chat
go
off
ahead.
so I don't talk
Yeah,
to
you
people. But it was an individual here in Edenton. Her name is Sheila Bootright that had cousins in the mountains. She has a second
Mhm.
home in the mountains. She has lots of
Mhm.
family in the mountains of North
Mhm.
Carolina, the western part of North Carolina, borderline Tennessee.
Mhm.
And her cousins there were hit hard,
Mhm.
and
Oh
the
god.
area were hit
Mhm.
hard. And she
Mhm.
just had it on her heart to try to help.
Mhm.
And so she got up Sunday before last and started making some phone calls.
Mhm.
And somehow, we all know how, but things were smoothed out like glass.
Mhm.
And we got a building to be able to gather supplies in. It was a few Facebook posts that were put
Mhm.
out, and another trucking company contacted her and said, "Look, we are a trucking company. We will
Mhm.
donate drivers, we will donate tractors, tractor trailers, we will donate the trailers. You fill
Mhm.
them up and give me an address and we'll get them to them."
Mhm.
So her
Awesome.
cousin on the other side in Western North Carolina was a member of, or is a member of, a church there, a United Methodist church. And so we had an address. We didn't
Mhm.
have the first roll of toilet paper or first bottle of water. We didn't have a
But you had the
clue.
truck and you had an address.
We had a truck, a trailer, and an address,
Mhm.
and a building to gather things.
Mhm.
And so we started on Monday morning, right off the bat, putting Facebook post out. If you're local, please come bring what you have. They need water. They need. We had 5 gallon buckets that the emergency system had showed
Mhm.
us that
Mhm.
would things that would fit in a 5 gallon bucket, that
Mhm.
were cleaning supplies and work gloves and scrubs and scrubber brushes, um,
Mhm.
washing detergent, dishwashing detergent,
Mhm.
clotheslines, those kinds of things that we were
Mhm.
able to put in pallet after pallet. We had another company that donated buckets, 5 gallon buckets,
Mhm.
like
Wow.
four
Mhm.
pallets of 5 gallon buckets. And
Wow, that's
it was like
awesome.
400 buckets that we filled.
Mhm.
Um, we were able to gather batteries, diapers, baby formula,
Mhm.
um, pallets. Our town of Edenton donated pallets of water.
Mhm.
So we had several pallets, not just the containers of water that people were bringing, but
Mhm.
it was pallets of water,
Mhm.
which we were
Mhm.
able to send, which was wonderful.
Yeah, that
And
is
so,
wonderful.
yes, Dink and
Mhm.
Tank, people helping people. It wasn't an organization. And so at the
Mhm.
time, yes, Samaritan's Purse is a wonderful organization as well. They're boots on the ground, to be able to help, and they're very familiar in that area. They're from there. They're
Mhm.
from Black Mountain,
Awesome.
right outside of Montreat, and
Mhm.
or in the area of Montreat, which was washed away.
Mhm.
So what we did was just put out the word saying that these people are in need, do what you can. We filled up the first tractor trailer in the first day, which was
Wow.
Wow, that is so awesome.
it was like a 53-foot tractor trailer, and,
Mhm.
in North Carolina are safe.
Because
Thank you
everybody
for your
wants to help. So many
Yes.
people want to do something, even if they don't have, the money to donate the money, because
Yeah,
how
right.
the days are. But they have things, they have extra things that they
Yeah.
could, you know,
Now
donate.
yes, we did not take clothes, because there are quite a number of other organizations that are gathering clothes, and
Okay.
we didn't have the facility, the location to be able to ship clothes.
Mhm.
Now they're in need of coats
I
and
heard about that.
blankets
They'll go
and
out
things
and
like that.
game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because stuff is getting cold. It's getting cold
Yeah.
there. It
Oh,
was in
I just want to say, and Greg Biffle, NASCAR driver,
Mhm.
is doing incredible work there because he has blankets,
Oh, wow. Okay,
all
awesome.
that stuff.
That's
Mhm.
right. That's right. And see, that's the thing is, we, you, Tammy and Lisa and I may not be able to help personally every single
Mhm.
person,
Mhm.
but we can help someone.
Yeah.
And what was happening at this church was they had to hand unload. We were blessed to be at a corporation that had forklifts. So they
Mhm.
would come and pick up the pallets and load them on the tractor trailer.
Mhm.
Where we sent them to, they didn't have forklifts. They had to unload everything by hand.
Mhm.
But they had horses and mules and four-wheelers that they were able to get
Mhm.
to the people that no longer had any kind of roads or
Mhm.
a way to get to them. And so it was an awesome thing. We thought we would go
Mhm.
till around Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We had 2 tractor
Mhm.
trailers lined up. We thought we would do
Mhm.
that. Well, more and more people wanted to help. More and more people, contacted us and said, "I have this and I have that. Can we send it on a truck?" The thing is, what you're doing may only help one person or several, but it may give those the means to help others, and that's exactly what happened. On our second tractor trailer that we sent up there, that church had been inundated and was overwhelmed. They didn't hoard it or keep it. Yeah, bridges washed away as well, and
Mhm.
all sorts of impassable things.
Mhm.
There were people that were hiking on foot 11 miles one way to be able to check on each other, 12 miles,
Mhm.
15 miles over mountains in the wilderness.
Mhm.
One thing that we didn't think about until later, yeah, dink and tank.
Yes.
One thing that we didn't think about until later when we heard from her cousin in the mountains were that the bees that were there, the ground bees, the honey bees, all those bees were displaced and
Aw.
they were mad. So they
Oh.
were
Oh, no.
stinging everyone.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
They were it was like a mass of mosquitoes, but it was bees. And so
Mhm.
what they needed was Benadryl and calamine lotion, things
Mhm.
that we didn't even think about. They asked us for EpiPens, but we couldn't really send EpiPens. That's a prescription.
They've
Mhm.
since changed that with the pharmacies temporarily to allow them, I'm sorry, to allow the pharmacists to be able to send them without prescriptions
Awesome.
because I don't know about your area, Anne, but I know when we lived there in September, the bees were normally pretty active and angry and annoying,
Yeah.
and then now that they're displaced, it was getting worse.
Oh, it's terrible. It's just, can you imagine?
Mm.
You are muddy and
No,
dirty,
I hate
and
I no, I wouldn't tolerate the bees well.
you get a swarm of bees that are attacking you. Oh my gracious.
Mhm.
So we started gathering
Mhm.
those supplies, the medication and things to be able to help.
Mhm.
Also,
Mhm.
with hiking, or even let's say you're walking outside of your own home, if it's still there, you're walking out
Mhm.
through the mountains to get somewhere, and it is covered
Mhm.
in poison ivy and poison oak, and these people
Mm.
are having all this all those struggles from the poison ivy and the
Yeah.
poison oak. So we were sending calamine lotion as much as we could find, wiping out the shelves. Poor little Edenton, our
Mhm.
little town only has 5,000 people in the whole town
Mhm.
and 10,000 in the county. And so we were wiping out the Family Dollar and the dollar store. And we don't even have a Dollar Tree. We only have one
Mhm.
grocery store. And
Mhm.
so we were wiping these places out. Roses was a pretty uh, wonderful place to go to.
Mhm.
And I was very blessed in that I was able to use social media to go live, and
Mhm.
people from all over the country were asking, "How can I help? What
Mhm.
can I
Right.
do?" Because
Yeah.
you can't just UPS it. You can't just Amazon it. They're not letting
Mhm.
anybody in at the time,
Mhm.
Monday and
Mhm.
Tuesday. And, I said, "Well, I don't know. I mean, I had a PayPal and a Cash App. If you wanna send something, goat's milk soap or any lye soap is awesome for
Mhm.
poison ivy." Well, that's
Mhm.
something we're gonna talk about today a little
It
bit.
is. That's
You
something
believe?
that we wanna talk about, Gwen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and so our family here on YouTube and Facebook were so generous that I we all, through the generosity of everyone, sent $2,988 altogether.
Oh,
And
wow.
I could, I was blown away, but I can promise you that what I did was the minute it came in, I would send it to my bank and go and spend that money. I mean, I got receipts for everything, y'all. So that's good. But we were able to have so many more supplies because of you. And that was amazing. Now we have stopped yesterday. What's today? Tuesday? Sunday was our last
Mhm.
day of um, gathering supplies.
Mhm.
We stayed out. We didn't have our building anymore, but we were in the parking lot with an open trailer. And
Mhm.
we had a few volunteers, and there were others that were gathering in Edenton that didn't have any more room on their tractor trailers, so they brought them over to us. So but we sent it to a different location. Yeah, you have to
Mhm.
beware of scam artist, Uncle
Mhm.
Al. And see, that
Mhm.
was the beauty, was we were able to go from an individual to an individual, and
Mhm.
we were able to circumvent some red tape,
Mhm.
and nobody was paid. None of the money went to any kind of administrative fees or
Mhm.
gas. The trucking company donated their gas.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Which
it
is
was
huge.
That is
it's
huge.
it's amazing because it's
Mhm.
a 6 hour, 7 hour drive.
Mhm.
Sometimes 10 and 12 hours, depending on the area that you're going to. And so you talk about a tractor trailer driving 12 hours, they're going to use some
Mhm.
petro. And
Mhm.
we were able to do that. And
Yeah.
it was a blessed thing. But I
Mhm.
got a little email from Miss
Mhm.
Lisa and Miss Tammy that said, "We're going to do some things in November, and how can you help us get it to where it needs to go?" So if you girls want to talk about that a little bit, that
So,
was
Mhm.
yeah, one thing I wanted to say is this is completely Tammy's idea. And she had messaged me on Sunday, and that's how we talked about this with Anne. And you may be thinking, well, November, Lisa, like that's far out. This is going to be years.
absolutely.
Mhm.
We don't want folks forgotten about. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mountain Grandma.
Mhm. Oh, you can help me too, Lisa.
I will.
All right, so here's the deal. We've got the whole Soaptember or Soaptober thing going on, trying to encourage people to make soap. And the thought was, and we still don't have a really clear plan. We're trying to figure out the who's, the where's, and the how's. But we were going to be doing a soap swap, and I'd like to shift gears on that. And if we could just try to encourage everybody as you're making soaps and things, how about instead of a soap swap, why don't we all just mail them somewhere? Let's
Right.
donate them. It doesn't matter what soap is a consumable. Everybody needs it. And I would imagine, like, think about like when you're almost camping. And one of my questions for you, Anne, that we can chat about is their homes are gone. Where are these people? And, I'm sure that they might initially get some soap donated that's like, the kind of stuff that you find at a hotel and stuff like that. But how nice would it be for them to have a little piece of just some handmade soap? I mean,
So
that's
awesome.
it's going to put a smile on someone's
Yeah.
face. And along with that, all of the hygiene stuff. And
Right.
Lisa, I'm going to pass it to you.
Here's the thing. When we donate, we often think biggest bang for our buck. And we also think, well, if I had nothing, anything's going to be good. That's true. But we're also talking dignity. People have lost
Right.
things and they need their dignity restored.
Yes.
A handmade bar of soap can make somebody feel special
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
and loved.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
And that's what's important.
That's right. That's right. And what my contribution can be is I can get us some addresses to be able to send to specific areas.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be an organization. It can be along with that idea. How about putting a
Aw,
message? Yeah, you
I
know,
love that.
Love
Mm-hmm.
it.
yeah, that's awesome. The most fun that we had in gathering all these 5-gallon buckets. I brought my grandbabies with me. I had my 2 girls with me on Wednesday because I believe it's good to be able to share with children to think outside of themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
went shopping with me. Didn't We went to their favorite toy store, which is Rose's in Edenton, and
Mm-hmm.
because I can afford toys there most of the time.
I love me
And
some roses.
I'm
We
telling you,
did
it's
that.
the bomb. You can get your clothes and your groceries and your bait all in the same store. But,
Yeah.
uh, you know, um, they were able to write little messages on the lids of the buckets.
Mm-hmm.
"We love you.
Aw, that's
You're
awesome.
special. We care about you. God loves
Oh,
Aw.
you." Draw
love it.
hearts and crosses and just, be so sweet. And
Mm-hmm.
so that made me smile to be able
I
to have
love it.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
And just little, just a little note, just I'm soaping your good, kind of
Yeah.
thing, or
And
something
include
funny like
any
that.
other hygiene items. Like it could be the soap that you made, but maybe an extra toothbrush or
Right.
toothpaste or
Mhm.
anything that's going to lighten the load because
Yeah.
along with the homes that they've lost their jobs. I mean, where they
Right.
worked is gone.
Right.
Um, I just can't
Yeah.
imagine or fathom what,
Well, one thing,
that's
yeah,
like.
one thing that is common there now, because we have, as individuals and organizations, have bombarded them with stuff.
Mhm.
Now,
Okay.
most of their warehouses or their churches or their
Mhm.
homes are gone, and they don't have any place to put these things.
Mm.
And they're trying desperately to get them
Mhm.
out to the people that need them
Yeah.
because the people can't get to them yet.
Mhm.
They don't
Mhm.
have the roads to get to them yet. So as we're talking about November, that's awesome because what they're asking is, "Yes, we love it that you're sending us supplies. Thank you. Please don't stop. But
Mhm.
we're full and please do it again. Please do it again later because all
Yeah.
this stuff is going to be gone and we're still
Mhm.
going to be in need." So,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know, to be
And
able
I
to have
think,
that,
go ahead, Anne.
no, but to be able to have that later and in increments all
Mhm.
along, I mean, I
Mhm.
watched a fella today say, "Gosh, my shed is gone. It's in 4 pieces. My house is gone. I
Mhm.
still own my land, and I'm planning on staying here."
Mhm.
And, they pitch a tent and they get some water and some soap, and they can feel like a person. They can
And
feel
that's what
Mhm.
they're asking them for now is hand warmers, tents, blankets, and so on. But just to give you an idea of some of the topography is especially in Yancey County, and it's in the other counties also, but just I'm going to focus on that part is Yancey County has many rivers that run through it. And so a lot of homes have bridges that go from the road across the river
Mhm.
to
right,
their home on a mountain.
Mhm.
right,
So those folks can't get out because the bridges are gone if they still have homes.
right,
Mhm.
Also, roads, I saw roads yesterday. I saw a different video that I was looking at, and it's not so much washed away, but the fact that I was watching first responders trying to get up a mountain road that was very steep, and it was so sunken in that they were having trouble getting up there with side by sides and ATVs.
right,
Mhm.
right.
And they were trying to get people to evacuate. Yes, almost 2 weeks in. And they were trying to get people to evacuate, and people were not leaving, but they were
Mhm.
respecting their right
Right.
because they have that
Mhm.
right to stay in their home. Plus, people are afraid of
Mhm.
looting, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
They are.
Mhm.
So, I think this is all going to be good because it's going to be an opportunity to get things to people who really need it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, and, like, Broke Cowgirl said, that hand warmers and blankets and sleeping bags have been the big
Mhm.
request this week of trying to get people to be able to have some sort of warmth. And there
Mhm.
are rescuers that are going out that are trying to get to others to encourage them to evacuate their home,
Mhm.
and they've lived there for generations, and they might have 6 inches of toxic mud in their home, but
Mm.
that's where they're comfortable. That's what they don't wanna leave their place,
They
and
wanna try to fix it.
yeah, and so it's difficult, but we can help. We can help, and it'll be okay
Yep.
eventually. But I
Yeah.
think this is a fabulous idea of I mean, as she said, the hand soap can help with the poison ivy and the
Mhm.
sumac and,
Mhm.
all of those things. And I can send a package somewhere when they're ready.
Mhm.
"Gail, you're so
Mhm.
precious." And she's already gathering for the homeless anyway.
Mhm.
So
So, yeah, so we're gonna try and we don't have logistics yet, so you have to bear with us, but we're gonna try and figure out a way. And, we may not have a means to send blankets, but there's
Mhm.
plenty of places you can. But what we want to do is be able to do something.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You just encourage people to do something. And,
Yeah.
like, part of it's spreading awareness. Do you know, I was talking with a friend of mine in Arizona who didn't even realize any of this had happened or was happening. Over on the west side of the country, there are people that don't even know.
Right.
So,
Which
you
is kinda
know,
hard to
and
believe, but, you
it
know
but if they know, they feel like it's so isolated. Like, her response was, "Well, yeah, I heard something was going on, but I didn't know it was that big of a deal." And that's
Yeah.
kind of, they know they got hit by a storm. They understand that there was, some homes displaced, but not understanding
Interesting.
the gravity of the situation. And
Yeah.
everybody that does know wants to help. So,
Sure. Well, you think about it. Okay, so
mhm,
in our house, we don't have cable anymore. We have
mhm,
Fire Stick, and
mhm,
I rarely watch television
same,
because I'm on YouTube too much. But
mhm,
say you're not on social media
yeah,
and you have a Fire Stick for your TV, and
mhm,
you're listening to your playlist on your radio in your
mhm,
car or something. You can quite possibly not. know or understand how difficult it is. So
Mhm.
it is kind of up to us to share
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to be able to
So
look
if
at.
anybody wanted to send something like, right now, you mentioned all of the things they need for warmth, and I mean probably socks, right? Like
Socks are a big deal.
socks are a big thing.
Socks,
Um,
hand warmers.
beanies, I would imagine beanies, scarves, right?
Yep.
All of those kinds of things.
I
Where would
do
we
have, yes, I
send
have
them?
a couple of, well, several
Okay.
of, and I can't
Maybe
put them
you
all
could
in the,
tell me. Yeah, put them in the chat if you
Yeah, I
could.
was going to say, Anne, if you want to text me a screenshot of it, I'll try to moderate a bit
okay, I
if
tell
that
you
works
what,
for
I've
you.
got a screenshot and I will text you because I have your, I'm special. I have your, do you have an iPhone or an
Yep,
Android? Okay,
iPhone.
good, because my iPhone does not play well, unfortunately, with Androids. I can't send pictures or anything, but I'm sending you the list that he's put on Facebook as far as organizations of someone that has boots on the ground in the various things that you can help. Um, these are
Oh,
organizations
yeah.
that are proven to be the kind of people that you want to have helping you. And
Mhm.
it's amazing to see, and the hundreds of private helicopters that are there, that are smaller helicopters and are being able to land in places that you wouldn't normally land a helicopter,
Mhm.
but they're doing amazing. They're going out by horseback and mule. They're going out by four wheelers and side by sides and all those types of things. But there are still areas. I don't have much money, but I can cash up you $10 if you can pick something up. Tina, it may be better. Let Lisa put a few organizations in
Hmm.
the chat, because at this time, where Lisa and Tammy and I are, anything that we get, we will have to ship
Yeah.
because
And
we
I
don't have ways to
mhm.
get it
And
there.
yeah, it would be better if we could just coordinate the sending of things to somewhere else other than us.
So I'm putting, like Pole Creek Baptist Church was one of the ones, and I just put their link in there. They're in Candler, North Carolina. And let me tell you, I've been following them on Instagram
Really?
and what they're doing, it's huge.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
have friends who accessed services there.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
huge. I'm gonna while you guys chat, I'm gonna post the rest of the ones that Ann sent me. It'll just take me a bit, so you guys got to keep it
Okay.
going.
It takes a minute. I'm sorry to have sent you such a
No.
long list, but you don't have to send all of them, just a few
Mhm.
or whatever that we can put in the chat as far as those types of things. Honestly,
Mhm.
the church families there, and a lot of the churches were washed away and
Mhm.
damaged. And so, I mean, they've got 2 feet of mud in their churches and
Mm.
they're not able
Mhm.
to gather anything.
Mhm.
Um, they do need masks now because I don't know what
Okay.
this I don't know what they're going to be getting soon, but they need masks terribly because the mud is drying,
Mhm.
and in that water, people
Oh.
is so toxic that, and
Mhm.
the mud is now become toxic,
Oh,
and
wow.
they're trying to shovel it and brush it out, which
Mhm.
is dusty,
Mhm.
and so breathing in toxins.
Mhm.
Um, the first thing that was one of the things that were floating away were everybody's propane tanks
Oh my
and
goodness.
gas tanks
Wow.
and all those kinds of things. Maybe place the links on your community page. That's a
Oh,
great
yeah,
idea,
that is a
Christine.
great idea.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
And that's a wonderful idea. And I
That is.
did put it up on my Facebook page, and I intend on putting it up on my YouTube page as well.
I'm gonna go put it up on my community page. And
Thank
is it
you.
acceptable if I just post the image?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah,
do
if
that
you
now.
do that, then we can all of us that are here that are channels, we can repost what Lisa posts.
Yeah,
That way
absolutely.
we get it out to, each of our groups of
Yep.
subscribers, right? Because there's
That's
some
part of my budget.
overlap, but we all have, unique folks that probably watch each of us that might not be connected
That's
with
right.
it.
That's right. That's right. Mm.
Mhm. I love that. Thank you, Lisa. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Ann.
Anne.
Oh gosh, it's so nice to know what to do as far as where to go
Yeah,
because
like what do because everybody, I know that it's not just us. I know
right,
everybody wants to do something, right?
sure.
Like, but then what do you do? What can you do,
Right.
right? What do they need? Is it going to help goes through your mind? And
That's
where
right.
the heck, how do you even get it to the people that it's going to help? I
Right.
mean, those are probably the three biggest questions everybody has. And it sounds like for anybody who wants to, ship some stuff this month, maybe socks, it sounds like is a biggie, hand
Mhm.
warmers, maybe nothing too big because they're running into space issues. Am I understanding
Yeah,
that right?
well, the ones that are uh, part of they're locals. They live there and they have
Mhm,
in the past worked for emergency services. Lisa is
mhm,
one that has
mhm,
worked with mental health issues and things there, which
mhm,
there's going to be a big need for that there as well.
mhm,
But they're saying, thank you. We do want your things. We just,
mhm,
because the people that are really shut in now can't
mhm,
get to the supplies. And
mhm,
because we're having to take it out to them in such small quantities that we don't have a place to store them. And
mhm,
so, like I said, the church that we sent our second and third tractor trailer full up there stopped at the first church and they said, "Look,
mhm,
we've got what we need, but right down the road
mhm,
there, they don't have anything. Can you drop
mhm.
some things off there?"
Aw,
And
that's nice.
and then they
Mhm,
got there and they said, "Okay, we'll take a little portion because that place over there is even worse." And so the
mhm,
tractor trailer
mhm,
was able to get to those people. So
mhm.
nobody's like hoarding. We want just our people. We're
Yeah.
trying to help all the counties and all the
Mhm,
areas. They were
mhm,
using mules, yes, to get up there.
mhm,
And that's a
mhm.
slow process, y'all.
Yeah.
I
Mhm,
mean, that's a slow process.
mhm,
And but worthy and worth it to be
mhm,
able to do that. We were very lucky that we were able to get through. There were certain those mountain folk, they know the back roads, right?
mhm,
They know the
mhm,
back way to get where they're gonna go, whether
mhm,
it's by horseback or not. And so we were blessed to be able to get a tractor trailer there Monday. And that was wonderful. But they do still need items, but their focus has changed now. They need items for warmth because it's cold and they still don't have any electricity or anything. So
I
mhm.
just posted that on my community page and tagged you ladies.
awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Andale.
Yep.
Thank you, Tina.
Yay. Good. Well,
Mhm,
it gets overwhelming. And I do want to share with everyone that um, we don't want to become it affects us emotionally and hurts our
mhm,
hearts. And we've already seen
mhm,
some tears today, and I've certainly shed my fair share.
Oof.
But you do have to
mhm,
step away occasionally and get your mind back in a straight arrow
mhm,
where you can be productive
mhm,
rather than overwhelmed and paralyzed. And I've had to remind my husband of that because he is watching. He helped out there as well. We were a team, and it was wonderful. He's
Mhm,
been to be able to have him there with me. But you have to scroll on occasionally,
mhm,
watch
mhm,
something funny
mhm.
or something
Yeah.
stupid,
Yep.
some mindless something.
Yep. Compartmentalize.
Yes,
That's how I've always thought of it is, when you're doing one thing, you got to think about that thing and not think about the thing that's going to bring you to your knees.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
self-care. I mean, and
Mhm.
that's what's important. I mean, because I
Mhm.
know, I spoke to friends and family in the area, and I talked to them Thursday,
Thank you.
and then they were unreachable.
Mhm.
We finally heard, I think, Saturday night, late, we got a text from family saying they were okay. I couldn't reach anyone else.
Mhm.
And then I think Sunday we were able to actually have a phone call with family. And I think by Monday and Tuesday, I heard from some dear friends and so on. And, all last week, it was just watching the devastation and
Yes.
being there and knowing that
Mhm.
a week and a half in, we are still rescuing people.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, and yes, there is a recovery going on. And
Yeah, there
Mhm.
do
are.
I believe everything that I'm seeing? No. Do I worry about people being taken advantage of? Yes. But the reality of it is this is unprecedented.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this is affecting, I mean, I have a friend who went back to work yesterday.
Awesome.
Well, kinda. It's good she went
Mhm.
back to work, but they're sitting there with a generator and no water and
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at
Mhm.
least they had a place to go back to, you know?
correct. Yep,
I
Mhm.
mean, there's so
Yeah,
many people
true.
that don't have a
Mhm.
place of work to go back to.
Mhm. But working
exactly.
is hard because I know this from coworkers that are over there, and it's hard because you have to, come to work and act like, nothing's going on, regular
Right.
Yeah,
work day. And there are security issues that are happening on the ground there, and people
Right.
don't feel safe. And
Right.
FMLA does not cover situations like this.
Right.
So getting time off to, I mean, where are they? Are they in a tent? Are
Right.
they in a hotel? Are they in at a friend's or family member's house with 3 or 4 other families?
Yeah.
I would imagine all of these things are
Sure.
happening. And
Mhm.
so, where do you it's just hard. So yes, such a blessing, because what it means too for those people who are able to work remote or have jobs is they're still able to bring revenue into that community, right? Because
Yes.
they're going to have, and that revenue that gets spread around is helpful, but it's hard for everybody.
Yep. Yep. That's right.
Yeah. And I'll
Okay.
tell
Good.
you what doesn't help, and I know we all have the thoughts about, you know, who should be helping, how they should be helped, right? Nobody's ever happy with how things are handled at the highest level, if you follow my
Right.
drift. Whenever a disaster strikes. But what's not helping those people is to have that kind of conversation going on
Yeah.
when we're worrying about food and clothing, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Okay, can we not worry about that right now because I
Right.
don't care. I just know my family needs this stuff."
Yeah.
And I think when they say that it's not helping, I think that's what they mean. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Because we all are thinking the same thing. But
Well, yeah, in any situation, you're going to have,
mhm.
some bad stuff or
Yeah.
bad people or bad
Yeah.
motives in
Yeah.
any and every situation. But
Mhm.
as we choose on Tuesday,
Mhm.
we
Yes.
choose to focus on the good and the
That's
ones that
right.
are doing it for the right reasons and that are out
Mhm.
and helping others. And so to have our focus where,
Mhm.
you know what? It's kinda like giving a dollar to the guy at the gas
Yep.
pump.
Yeah.
Whatever he does with that dollar
Yes.
is his deal. I
Mhm.
gave it for the right reasons,
That's
and,
right, and we can help to empower people by letting them know how they can, where they can, maybe somebody just has a card, a thinking of you card that they
mhm,
wanna put in the mail. Maybe that's
yeah,
their contribution. It's gonna be well received. When I
right,
reached out to a coworker and just said, simply, "Hey, just checking in on you. Wanna make sure that you're on my mind, and we've been praying for you all."
right,
And the way that that was received was so shocking to me
right,
yeah,
because they feel alone.
yeah,
And Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much more
Yeah.
about it. But anyhow, so
It's
yeah,
difficult,
all
yeah,
the good
because
things.
yeah, you are cut off, and you don't
Mhm,
know where your what
mhm.
the right hand is doing for the left hand
Right.
and
Yeah.
things like that, and, oh my
Mhm,
gracious, it has to be so incredibly overwhelming that I mean,
mhm.
when I get overwhelmed, y'all, I
Oh,
wanna go to the bed and pull up the covers and just say, I'm stepping off the world for a minute." But
Yep.
unfortunately, they're not able to do that. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, so it
That's
is
a beautiful idea,
I love
stitching
it.
it
it
up.
is. That would be so incredibly
Mhm,
helpful.
mhm,
That would be
Super
helpful, and
helpful.
that is something that could be sent right away,
mhm.
doesn't take a ton of work. Now
Or even postage.
yeah,
Put all of
I
those in an envelope.
right.
Mhm.
I mean, a ton of space. I meant a ton of space because it is a ton of work to make a hat,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure. I don't know because I don't crochet,
Mhm.
but I would think that it would be quite the effort.
I
And
mean,
so
it
that
is.
would be great, and, check on Lisa's community page as of now, and it will be
Mhm,
on both Mountain Grandma and mine
mhm,
shortly, where
mhm.
we'll be able to share out some places, and we can all goggle right now. We can goggle things
Mhm,
and, use that good old Google while we have it to be able to find addresses to actually send them
mhm.
to individuals.
Yep.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
they are delivering some
Oh,
things
that's a
now.
wonderful list too, Lisa.
I have to share, well, that's from Anne, but I have to share one thing I saw, and I forget the town it is in. It's been a while since I've been in North Carolina, but I know it. And I saw it
Yeah,
on the video and I recognized it was Riverside School, but it was up in Mitchell, Avery County area.
mhm, they were hit
It
hard.
it's that road from Plumtree to Cranberry. And anyway, that's what I remember. But
Yeah,
anyway, they thought about everything. And the video that I saw was a guy who had some kind of disability.
Mhm.
And he had a back brace on. And I'm using his words, so don't come at me. But he said,
Mhm.
if I'm a cripple and I can do it, you can do it.
there you go, there you
And
go.
but this school had thought of everything. They had people washing clothes in buckets and had clotheslines
Mhm,
Mhm.
and were letting people hang up. They were letting them get new clothes. They were letting them get food. They were letting them shop and get enough for the week so they could come back in a week
that's
and
right.
get more. And the guy just kept saying they thought of everything, and they did.
That's
They
awesome.
did. I mean, here's something you don't
That
think
is
about:
awesome.
chainsaws.
Right.
They, if anyone has used a chainsaw for an amount of time, hello, we cut all those trees down.
Mhm.
Um, you constantly stop to add oil, gas, sharpen the chainsaw, change the blade, change the thing if it gets bent, the bar and all that. And there was a company that was down there sharpening saws and maintaining them for people because they're like, people have barely used these chainsaws.
Yeah, I've never used a chainsaw.
And it
I might
really was
broke my leg.
incredible.
That's right.
Yeah, so
That's great.
incredible.
Mm.
That's great.
That's
And
awesome.
there is another organization, I'm not sure it was on that list, it may be, but there's the Baptist Men's Mission Committee Mission. It's BMCM, and it's the Baptist Men's Committee Mission. And they've brought trailers full of temporary showers, and they brought a
Oh,
tractor
great idea.
trailer full of
Mhm.
washing machines and dryers to
Mhm.
be, but they're hooked up. They're in the,
Mhm.
it's like a little mobile laundromat and that kind of thing.
That's
And
Okay.
awesome.
yeah, so
So apparently
anyway,
they're a part of several churches.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
just, I mean, I tell you what, at least in our area, you need something. You call them Baptist men. They're mostly retired.
Mhm.
They coming and showing up, baby. They coming and showing up.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Building
they
you a
are.
ramp or, doing those kinds of things.
Mhm.
Let's see, Anne, you need to get one of those, the small ones that are battery operated. You love yours. Good for you. Good
I
for
have
you.
that too. The little chainsaws.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love mine too.
I
Mhm,
do. I don't have one of those. I missed out on when all our people were getting those little miniature chainsaws
mhm.
to do a
Let,
video for.
let me tell you, I reviewed mine. I thought it was great, but I got to tell you, we used it for all the limbing when we were chipping the brush. I couldn't believe how amazing it was.
Mhm.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. We
That's what
cleared some
I want.
woods. We cleared some like an area in our woods that had to be cleared with it.
So what
So
was the company's name? Because I want to tell them Andale Homestead needs one of those battery operated chainsaws. No, don't look at it. It's okay. It's all right.
We'll email you.
There you
yeah,
go. You'll
so
get your farm boss.
we have 5 minutes left, and I know Tammy's got to stick to a schedule. I know we do too.
Mhm.
Um, Tammy, first of all, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. And then Tammy, so what do we want to get out to people how they can follow on the updates for this since we don't have this all set yet?
Mhm. Well, how about this? Now next week, heads up everybody, there won't be a live for Lisa and I next week on Tuesday the 15th. We will be back on the 22nd. And keep an eye out for videos on Lisa's channel and my channel about this. We do have the Soaptober going on, encouraging everybody to make soap. And again, what we want to do is after this month in November, we want to start all of us shipping out some soap and other hygiene items to our friends and family in North Carolina. And there's all kinds of churches and groups that Anne has been gracious enough to share with us. These are vetted places that we can send those to. So we're going to retain that list of people and just try to encourage everybody to start shipping that out in November. Maybe videos. We'll talk about it on our next live, Lisa. We need to think it through and figure out how it's all going to work. But I want to make sure we keep putting that bug in everybody's ear
Yeah.
to remember what these folks need. And right now, um, don't wait until then to help. Right now, if you could throw any little thing in the mail to any of those places, even if it's just a thinking of you card, because that was
Mhm.
the feel that I got, was that, wow, somebody's actually thinking about us. And so
Right.
they don't realize how many of us are unless they get it in the mail, because they don't even have internet and things to call or watch TV or check out the internet or anything.
That's
So
right.
snail mail.
Yeah. So to put this in perspective, when I was saying that, my
Mhm.
family and friends and other folks who were in that area, um, they had no service. So they knew it was coming. They were experiencing things firsthand, but they
Mhm.
had no idea the magnitude
Right.
Mm.
because they had no access like we did.
Yeah.
Um, I will tell you, Doug, over at Holman's Homestead, I had reached out to him, was able to get a hold of him. He's in Eastern Tennessee.
Mhm.
And I watched his video. I suggest you watch it. I'll try to post the link real quick, but he had to walk home while trees were falling.
Oh my goodness.
He got a
Wow.
bus because he lost his car in the flooding at work.
Oh,
And
wow.
he posted this in the video, so I don't mind saying it, but basically he went
Yeah.
out to move his vehicle.
Mhm.
He very quickly realized it was not good, and he was waist high suddenly in water.
Ugh.
Wow.
And then they got a bus to get them home and so on. But I suggest you go watch it, and I will
Mhm.
post the link because that made my heart hurt so bad for
That's
them.
right.
You know it.
Right.
Yeah.
How scary.
How
Yep.
frightening.
Well,
Um,
that is true. I mean, there were areas the some of the people that have talked and they can talk to us, but they haven't heard us talk back to them. So that's why cards can be important. But they
mhm.
didn't know at the time if it was just their street. Is it
Yeah.
just my
Yeah.
street? Or is
Mhm.
it so widespread? And so
Mhm.
people with CBs or ham radios were able to
Mhm.
share with their neighbors that, hey, it's not just us, honey. It's a lot more people
Mhm.
than that.
Yeah.
So that's
Question for
something.
you, Ann.
Mhm.
Kentucky Survival 76 said that they lost 42 post offices in the damaged areas. But what
Yeah.
we mail will get there, right? Like they're working their way around that?
They are working their way around it. I'm no expert by any means. And so
Mhm.
by the time November comes,
Mhm.
to be sure, there will have some temporary areas that
Mhm.
people are able to receive their mail. Churches, organizations are
Right.
able to
Mhm.
receive their mail. I mean, right now, this week, I don't know, but certainly within a, a month or so,
Mhm.
the mail is on hold. Our
Okay.
mail comes from a neighboring town after April's tornado. I get you, Christy. Gosh, bless your
Mhm.
heart. But yeah, so I'm not absolutely positive that it would go through
Mhm.
today, but hopefully in 6 weeks, because this is not even the middle of October yet, although it's coming
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
hopefully by November.
And thank you for sharing this, Lisa, with that Hurricane Milton. I think there's like another one behind it. Prayers for everybody in Florida. Pray
Well,
hard, y'all.
oh
Power of
gosh.
prayer.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Time to
okay.
go.
Not to
Yeah.
be rude, but we
We,
know
Yeah.
We've got a tight schedule with Tammy, so
yeah.
There we go.
Thank you, everybody, for coming
thank
today.
you, Ann.
And thank you for joining us and trying to help these people. And um, kisses from all of us.
Love you
Um,
gals.
well, more to come in videos and on our next live about what we're planning for November. But don't even wait till then. They need stuff now, whatever you can send. See you
Awesome,
guys
Dad.
next time. Thank you
Okay.
again, Anne, for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you, Ann.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.